So I asked four people to tell their story of just very briefly about a glimpse or something about what it was about the Pride Parade that moved them, what it was that touched their lives, or what it is about being here at St. Aidan's that makes it matter that we're an affirming congregation. So, Rhonda, do you want to go first? And if you just make sure that, okay?
Can anybody hear me?
No, you got to go closer.
Oh, can you hear me now? Yeah, I can hear it echo. I recognize a lot of faces here, and I'm very thankful for that. For those that don't know me, my name is Rhonda, and I've been a part of St. Aidan's for a little over 2 years now. Cheryl gave us 3 suggestions for short talk, and I'm going with the affirming St. Aidan's version because it matters so much to my heart. About that time, 2.5 years ago or so, I found I had recognized a void in my life and decided that what I really felt would fill it would be a community church, somewhere that I could go participate, not just on Sunday mornings. To date, I've probably got 11 different functions that I help out with from time to time. And I'm not a quiet, shy person. But at that early part of it, I had done a lot of research online. The church I grew up with was not an affirming church, and my choice not to go back there and left me looking for what else is out there. I went online, read up about religions, and then started my quest by going to different churches for a little over a month to experience the service, see what's going on. The first church that I went to was here at St. Aidan's, and as I walked in the church, knowing that what I'm looking for is an affirming, accepting community, Tracy walked towards me coming back down the aisle, and I just said, "Thank you, God." And continued, enjoyed the service, still did my research going to other churches, and decided that I was coming back home because I felt that this was home from the first moment. As to what it does with me and my affirming points, I have a gay child. She's now engaged, and I'm very thrilled to be able to say that. Knowing that she could come here. She doesn't go to church, which may one day change. But she could come here. She'd be welcome, as is everyone else. And I know it's supposed to be a short conversation. So in the Pride Parade, totally enjoying myself, being thrilled that not only was I walking in a Pride Parade, but I was walking in a Pride Parade with my church. I don't know if you've really thought about how strong of a thing that is to be able to do, and it really matters to me. So the person I was walking with at one point, and I'm going to close with this one because it really hit me, I know that she hadn't been to a Pride Parade previously because we talked about it. And I said, "It looks like you're having a really good time." And she said, "Yes." And I said, "I guess you're hooked. You'll be back." She says, "I'm not even gay." And I said, "You don't have to be." And she said, "That's the point." Thank you.
I don't know if I can follow that one. But I had never actually walked in a Pride Parade before, and I must admit I kind of got caught up in all of the energy and the spirit of celebration, the music. It was all fabulous. But the thing that struck me most about the parade was the eye contact that I had with all those people that lined the streets. And they were high-fiving, cheering, smiling. It was a wonderful thing to see. But, were they straight? Were they trans? Were they gay? Nobody really knew each other from each other, so what did it really matter? Because it was really a celebration of all of us. And we were just people celebrating together. There was one man in our congregation that had a T-shirt on that said, "I love my daughter." And I really think, as I'm sure you do too, that love overrides all of our differences. I was really heartened to see that so many churches had been represented. in the parade, and it sort of bolstered my confidence that we're really trying to learn to live like Jesus by accepting one another as equals and by celebrating our common humanity. Pride is not just about gay rights, but it's about all of our rights as people to be accepted and loved as children of God. And that's what I saw in the eyes of those people who lined the church, or who lined the streets. I often wonder what the church of the future might look like. And I don't even know if I would recognize it as a church that was like one that I grew up in. But where will our church be in 10, 20, 50 years from now? Nobody really seems to know. But one thing I do know, beyond a doubt, is that that same Jesus who turned the world upside down in the first century will still be operative. And he'll carve out a new form of church that puts people first, puts people in touch with the divine, and who will scoop us all up in the loving arms of God. And the Pride Parade for me was just one amazing example of that kind of love.
Well, Cheryl told us to speak from the heart and to make it personal. I hate parades. I never went to them as a child. My parents thought they were for working class. They had delusions of grandeur, and we were not working class. I didn't take my children to parades except on Klondike days, because in Edmonton we were new immigrants, and I thought that was something we should do. So why did I take part in my first Pride Parade about 4 years ago? I was definitely influenced by the 2 years of study that we did here to become an affirming church. I did not know many gay and lesbian people outside my church community. I was extremely nervous about going in the first place, and I certainly did not know what to wear. But I felt a sense of obligation, an obligation to be with our church community. Public witness is something I find extremely difficult. But for all of us who've been reading these booklets over the last year that have been prepared for us, will know that public witness has been a huge part of them. If you've been reading Acts for the last 4 weeks, you know that we've got to up our public witness. I had lots of legitimate reasons why not to go to the parade. So why did I go? It wasn't because I could enjoy the sunshine downtown and be with my friends. It wasn't the accolades from the cheers and the waving from the crowd which made me feel really good. It wasn't for the awe that I felt when I walked around the inner harbor and saw that majestic Empress Hotel and our beautiful legislative buildings. It wasn't even the fact that I might reach my goal of walking 10,000 steps that day. So what was it? It was the fact that I wanted to show my respect with my church community for the LGBTI people in this city. It was my public witness. And the thing I found most moving has been referred to already. It was a white t-shirt, and it makes me choke up when I think of it. It was a white t-shirt with a heart on it, and it said, "I love my daughter." That's what it's all about.
I'm with Val. I hate parades, but it's fun being in them. They're noisy. It was flashy. It was kind of outlandish in some parts. If you looked at the whole parade, you'd notice that those things don't usually go with church, at least not so far. But it's a celebration, and it goes way deeper than that. underlying is a very serious message and a serious feeling if you're walking with the group or watching. It's the church in action. It's showing that we have a belief in the oneness of humanity, and we're walking to show that and letting ourselves be right up there. When the church makes mistakes, which we have been known to do in the past, we like to acknowledge it. I guess I shouldn't speak for everyone in the church, but I think that's the general attitude. And we also like to make amends in any way we can. And in a way, that's what affirming was about. Way more than that, but it certainly was part of it. That was important. And now it's time to do further action. The Pride Parade was a further action. We want people to know that following Jesus means putting ourselves out there. It means to acknowledge our commonness, our common humanness, and our differences, which we also celebrate. The organizers of the Pride Parade welcome, I think, the church's participation. I've never heard that they don't want us there, and we're grateful for that. They don't need us, really, but they welcome us. But I feel we need to be there, and I think our previous speakers have given ample reason why we need to be there. In church, we talk about love and belonging, and when in the Pride Parade, we walk about it.
So maybe I'll just do the same thing. Last week was my very first Pride Parade, and I was surprised how nervous I was. Because my experience for so long in the church of having been a closeted lesbian really had been like, it was a kind of a lonely journey, at times scary, because you didn't want people who could hurt you to find out. So going to the parade was like, wow, this is a very public act. And I was nervous that I would be like kind of feeling alone in the midst of a crowd. So I have to tell you that being at the parade was a wonderful experience for me. It was, I knew lots of people, and the main part of them was from the church. And it was like we were all doing this together, and sexual orientation didn't matter. It was like we were all out there just saying that love is love, and we're not going to judge each other. And so I found it healing. I found it affirming, and I found it fun. So we want to revisit the Pride Parade on this week and think about what it meant to us. And I'm really proud of St. Aidan's. I think we were where we needed to be. And certainly for me, I was glad that there were so many of us. So that's Pride Parade for this year. It may be, you know, that as we begin to think about what the program is going to be, there might be some people who want to do something that starts a little bit of an affirming or a pride ministry here at St. Aidan's, because we've been an affirming congregation for a long time, and we might, the parade's another step, and it might be that having a ministry for gay and lesbian people and trans people, and that just lets them be and gives them a home, gives us a home. That might be another step. So, thank you for listening, and that's our meditation for today and our message.